Now, as we trail in here, Xenox, the eagle-eyed among our viewers may notice that we've got only 19 squads currently in the lobby. So that means Stinky B, who played out the first series of the day as a duo. I'm not sure if they've just given up completely for the day, but we certainly don't see them here to start with. And that means, there was some talk about whether they would go back to their sort of ancestral home, we'd call it, of the Dome, or perhaps they were thinking about contesting launch site with MDY, who are, which has been another spot that they've vied for recently. But either way, that means we're going to see the Geyser and Dome completely unoccupied for the moment. Everyone else seems to be landing as expected. You've got... actually, maybe not, because we do have Dugu Play landing at Epicenter, and then you've got Dewa having to land at Survey Camp, which, by itself, not the most amazing POI, and certainly not befitting a team like Dewa, but perhaps they've been pushed out unexpectedly by Dugu Play, who don't always announce their intentions, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to quickly look at, and we didn't really touch on, is maybe some of the legend compositions here. Obviously, what we saw for B versus C, we saw some intriguing differences, especially a couple of Bangalores coming out. From what I can already see, it is pretty much going back to the old staple, Valk, Watson, Sia, for the most part. Not exactly like it moved away too much necessarily in the last group, but it definitely did lean into a lot of the crypto. There is still a crypto once again, but it's probably not as prevalent. In all fairness, and we do actually have a Bloodhound as well on MDY.
That's fun. Yeah, Bloodhound with the Bangalore, of course. These days, the Wallhacks not quite enough by themselves. If you're going for that, you're probably going to be picking up the Seer, but it's just the ability to spam that scan through the smoke, combined with that Bangalore. It's the MDY just thinking about picking off someone. They have been picked up. Gonna back off. But yeah, look, there's actually a reasonable amount of cryptos in the lobby, I will say, Xenox. But you're right, we do see a bit more of a slightly more homogenous group here for A versus B.
No thermal station this time around. We still don't get that one. Over to landslide we go, which is where the majority of the team's already starting to congregate.
Extended light mag here. Level 3.
Wonder how this one is going to play out in terms of how do the teams want to sort of play this. We saw obviously two different really successful forms in B versus C. Dreamfire, aggression, sweeping edge, clearing out teams, pushing through teams on choke points, and it was very effective for them. You look at the likes of Buriram United, and over the course of the 6 matches, it was all about position, playing full placement, playing for endgame. And while it didn't get them second place in the end, they did still have a pretty stable, safe 6 matches, got them a pretty okay finish. But in the end, Dewa, Moist, what we saw was as the lobby went on, it was their kills too that really led, and the reason why they were able to both finish second and third respectively. So the top 3 from B versus C, it was the kills that got them there in the end. And guess what? Dewa continue where they sort of left off, Gino, as they wipe out Hemagod.
Yeah, they were sort of just caught rotating between landslide or trying to get a little bit further into their Dewa to taken up position in the caravan that's just east of Countdown. They're in a good position to get some snipes from there. Okay, finally, let's see some Fuse gameplay. Fuse has been picked quite a few times, but we actually haven't seen him in action very much because SRY have sort of been going down a little bit. You can see here the knuckle clusters. Very effective tool in comp.
Unfortunately for SRY, they have not really been all that effective themselves today. Maybe this is where it changes, especially against Team Malt, who have done all right in a lot of their team fights. Well, they just got cleaned out really, really rapidly. And only Vanilla Sands got knocked, who gets revived anyway. That was largely clean. We move straight away, though, to Northside Esport. Falcon's going to be finished off here, along with Big Z. 2 early kills there for Northside.
Yeah, Lahim may be able to make it out. As you can see, Skyward Dive available. Will they go for him? I can tell you they're looting right now. Northside looking to clean up the full squad. It seems they're happy with that. They're actually just going to send Nuku's drone out to try and scout around and see perhaps if they can work out where Lahim made it to. It's Not like his Bloodhound, don't get the tracks or anything like that. One of the unique abilities of that recon character. But you can tell how far away he is, depending on, you know, if he's got the zero squads in the area or not. So it's 0 squads showing in the area, so he's just outside the range of that. So they might actually think he's just legged it.
10 squads remaining already, of course, with no Sticky Pete. It's a 19 squad lobby. A minute and 10 seconds remaining though, but still, it does mean with a couple of early teams eliminated, there is that space available early on here in the opening round. A lot of teams hugging the edge though. I mean, there's not really going to be much committal over towards the center of Landslide. Golden Sage currently occupying that along with Good Riddance. Outside of that though, Gino, everyone else playing more so towards the edge of the green circle. I mean, Boogie Borders are somewhat close. They've got the cliff at their back, utilizing the Watson fences as MDY White. We see them for the first time. MDY themselves, the sister team, did okay in our earlier lobby of B versus C. They're too egregious though. Obviously for MDY White though, in a much better position of trying to still compete for a top 4 placing compared to MDY.
Yeah, close between the two teams. Still a couple of series left in it to make up that difference. Show they are indeed worthy of the MDY name. Been in the region for a while now. They seem to be expanding though with how many teams are repping the banner. Two good players still stuck over in Fragment West as the circle shifts away from them. They of course aren't playing crypto, which makes it a little bit harder for them to get the scan. Obviously, the beacon only spawns over in Fragment East. They can go up towards the train beacon if they want to, but doesn't look like they've done that this time. Moist Esports. As you said, you pointed out last time, Xenox, they seem to struggle a lot more on World's Edge, where the zone pulls tend to be a little bit more unpredictable. And on the back of that, you know, maybe that's why we were sort of, you know, feeling like they'd had that bad series, because there's one whole entire map that they seem to struggle on despite their impressive performance there on Storm Point. This time you can see they are holding quite a good position. It'll be potentially be able to hold out some teams like Emmanuel towards their west, or looks like it's going to be a landslide circle though, which is it's actually a bit of fun.
Yeah, and like I was probably going to touch on Moist there quickly as well, so I'm kind of glad that you did, because I think coming back into World's Edge now, it's a really good opportunity to see, is it the map, right? Like we can get a little bit more information. Maybe they can start to play World's Edge a little bit better off the back of the form that they developed on Storm Point. Maybe they can bring that form over here and, you know, turn sort of a half series into a full series. But, you know, the funny side of it is they still finished second, right? Like, so it's hard to be too upset. I think they still had a very, very good series there. Storm Point was so impressive that it made up for any maybe shortcomings on World's Edge. In this lobby, though, with these Group A teams, I don't know if they could get away with it again. 505, a team that also did very well in Storm Point, struggled on World's Edge earlier this evening. Obviously, Metch is a big part of this team. And MDY maybe just smelling blood in the water here. They go for the push. They'll get the knock through a QQ onto Surprise Z. Fortunately for 505, some of that form that they had built up on Storm Point in the earlier lobby is evading them here to start World's Edge.
Macy, the crypto player, does manage to get away. He's up the hill, just to the north of Youngling here. Yuling, I should say. He's got the Charge Sentinel actually, so if Yuling peeks this in the at the wrong time, could be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, there's the 120. Tries to get the second shot and put him down. Oh, look, that's one way to scare a full squad off, but unfortunately takes a little bit of damage, and now he's going to pull back, and unfortunately for him, SRY is actually on the other side of this, so I don't expect BC to survive for very much longer at all. That said, MDY also getting into scrap up here.
Yeah, from one MDY to another one. MDY White getting involved too. They do not going to get revived, although maybe some pressure here from Daewoo United. And this has been their forte so far today, fighting, pushing, taking these advantages where they see them. When they've got the information, they're not necessarily going to play and push without that intel. Once they've got it, they're just so quick to push and try and clear the rest of MDY White. And you pushed back here at the hands of Daewoo United.
Yeah, well, Daewoo left their spot in the caravan because, unfortunately, I mean, you know, the circle does pull there quite a lot, but this time it's not going to. So they have to shift up their strategy. Makes sense. They'll move down, grab a couple of kills, and I like the quick recognition of the position that they are in this game. Daewoo really impressing me with their macro play so far in this split. It's been one of the most impressive. You know, I'm thinking some other teams that I think really have gotten a little bit better in that, like T4, 505. It wasn't always the way in Apac. Anyway.
Whoa, Manuel just trying to hang on here. They've already lost A-Flow. They've actually won out against GQ. Typically, today it was A-Flow that was usually the last one alive and salvaging things for Emmanuel, but this time his team able to sort of pay some respect back. Over to Moist Esports though. Obviously a lot of eyes on them after their second place finish earlier today in B versus C. Coming and storming home on Storm Point. Need to have the same success here on World's Edge though. If they can actually be in a good position after 3 matches here heading into Storm Point, I'll definitely be singing their praises going in there and probably anticipating a good finish for them here in A versus B as well.
Okay, SRY, they just pull straight up into Landslide. Little do they know they have picked pretty much the dead center of the next circle. So, unreal either reading or luck from SRY. And teams that take a little bit longer, Moist, consistently being one of those seemingly lately, where they pick, you know, a middle position. If you remember, in the cut just below Countdown, they don't have next zone info. They're not playing crypto. And as a result, they're going to have to wait for this shift. And then they will see that it is going directly on top of Landslide. Which means it's going to be a fun finish for us. It's going to be a fun finish to watch. It's going to be tough for a couple of these teams who have to, you know, pull up against a team like, who's on the big platform at the moment? Golden Sage is up on the higher platform.
Yeah, I want to say like 40% of that green circle is just unplayable. Landslide becomes such a valuable POI. Moving early and playing off of that. Obviously for SRY, they will benefit. Britain's close by along with Golden Sage. Both of those two have been in Landslide basically since round 1. Early on round 1 too. They are benefiting greatly from these circle pulls. And we'll do so once again, but in saying that, I imagine they're going to have a lot of teams pushing on their locations. They need to be ready to fight soon. Not necessarily straight away, so we're still closing out the end of round 3, 30 seconds away.
One of the funny things we saw there on the map was you saw MDY pop a Seer ultimate up the top. No one was in range of them. They were just taking massive hits from Daewoo at range with, you know, Kissan's has got the Sculpius on his 30-30, just cleaning them up. So there was like, oh yeah, you know, you dissuade teams from pushing you. That's, you know, a lot of the time when we see these teams use the Seer ultimate, but it did nothing because they were just taking so much damage from far away. It wasn't even giving them any information.
Heading into round 4. Osu, here for Truth Esports, getting the knock on to Asia, goes for more, doesn't just want the flush, he wants the whole team. Gets A-Flow as well, with Saiyajin helping out. So pretty average is the best way to describe Truth Esports in B versus C earlier today. They had some good moments, Natsura-sama had some good moments, same with Saiyajin, but just couldn't quite put together a complete performance.
Truth Esports, one of the teams sort of landlocked up here at Countdown. They're up there with Moist. There's Lahim from Free Agents ratting up there. And then you've got Boogie Borders in a battle for the caravan just outside of Landslide. And Daewoo are going to win that one. So,
well, that's huge. Those are the two teams that are tied on 70 points, Gino. And when you think about the grand scale outside of just one map. You know, those are the little differences that can really add up over the course of the entire split. You take them out, okay, that's points that they can't get. It's almost like a sort of double edge. 10 squads remain as free agents are gone.
See Moist up the top here. They're routing Truth Esports. Mosu and Saiyajin on the run. Mitsuru Sama has already been eliminated. Got a couple of rats going around, actually. And Emmanuel, it might just go for a YOLO res because he's got the... he's managed to grab the banners with the crypto drone and actually has the option to res them, like, countdown. There's actually a beacon, like, right in the middle of landside that he can use. I mean, they'll probably get sniped out of the sky, but hey, why not try it?
Yeah. Why not? Why not go for it at this point?
Give your friend some KP.
Chicken sandwich. Only quiet so far to start this game. They're going to have to get involved sooner rather than later. They've got some decent damage. Triple purple. Evos are getting worked out, but no kills just yet. You have... And they have Northside pushing right on top of them, though. Moist Esports also on the rotation too. No. Drop. They go for the low ground instead.
Oh, this is hella risky, and we keep talking about it. They make late rotations, they make late decisions, and the spots are already taken, Xenox. And that means their lives get taken along with it. So Waltz is the one to pay the price this time. He's going to get knocked and fully finished now, so it's just up to MT and Pricey. And with that knock, they're going to get full sent. Pricey may be able to stave some of them off for now, but it's not looking good for them.
All right. I mean, it's not looking good, really, for a lot of the teams here, and starting to really fuel the effects of this landslide finish. Really open. Not a whole lot of squads left. Player K over to Chicken Sandwich we go. They've already lost Strafing Flame. Now they lose Panna as well. The only Player K left goes for the bat. They did at least get the kill onto Mitei, and Northside win this one against Chicken Sandwich. That's a big team fight win for Northside. Only losing one player as well. Melia and Yuku both staying alive. Moving into the latter portion of this game. 6 squads left, 16 alive.
Yeah, well, there's that information coming into play, Xenox. They had the crypto drone. They were playing from below in the tunnel, north side. But because they had the crypto drone, they knew exactly where Chicken Sandwich were and obviously knew just the right moment to pounce. So Northside come out alive. Unfortunately, they only managed to do it with 2 members. So Dewa, once again, doing really good. We haven't talked much about EXO yet, but they are one of these 6 squads left alive, and they are looking to hold out teams like Good Riddance, who are holed up in the caravan. As you can see, yep, grenades going out towards Good Riddance. They're going to have to run through the fire.
Oh, good shots from Genpike. Golden Sage utilizing that high ground as much as they can. Good Riddance lose 2. Only Jaro left. He's trying to make a great escape. Try and hold on and wrap for a better placing finish. Still practically full purple here, but he's obviously feeling the pinch. Now gets shot from behind as well. Now basically just a rock that is saving him, hoping he has to just try and push back to his old location. Unfortunately, that too already was occupied. Big kill for Ziki. Only the 3rd kill of the game for ExoClan, but this is where you would expect them to start to get involved as they control the entire western side of the zone.
Yeah, they don't have the crane, though, and considering the crane is in here, it feels like Golden Sage, who are up the top, they have access, they can just jump. You know, you can make that. You can. I'm pretty sure you don't need to be a Valk. I'm pretty sure you can just slide jump from that top platform over to the crane, which you can see they've fortified there. The problem is they need to do enough damage before they drop off. So a team like Dewa, who actually has a little bit of cover below them, could be an issue. A team like EXO could be an issue. Northside, they're the ones at the bottom with only the 2 members. And then Moist, somehow at least, have managed to make it into the top 5 here. But that said, they've still only got MT and Pricey.
And while it feels like they sort of golden position, you got the high ground, you are also sort of silhouetting a bit, right? Like every time you peek over the edge, you are very vulnerable, very susceptible to getting shot at. And you can see that with Azu as well, taking some damage, just trying to make the way over to the platform. So it's almost like a 2-pronged attack, right? Like you can shoot them, you've got the high ground. Those below, are able to get these sneaky little off-angle positions and look up, and if you're just sort of standing on the edge, you will get shot, you will lose that armor. At some point, you kind of almost have to pull the plug, and you've got to get moving. You've got to come down.
Well, the circle's certainly moving, so let's see how EXO deal with this one. Gonna get the reveal. They know where they are, right at the top. Yeah, MT and Pricey playing underneath them. Seer ults coming out from every single team right now. And Moist is going to be the first one to go down.
4 squads left. Who also knocked already from Northside. Only had the 2. Killabor's getting that one for EXO Clan. Oh, Easy Flash has to just pull back in. Unfortunately knocked. Couldn't get back to safety. The downer just Kisans and Bastion for Dewa. Done such a good job so far today in fighting in these late game situations. But down to 2. EXO Clan have just played the circle perfectly from the western side. No one has pushed onto them. They're just basically free firing onto all of these teams that have had to push out. Golden Sage had to come down. Northside are gone, and it's all that's left is EXO Clan. Control is the definition for their win in this game. The western side was theirs. The game is theirs.
EXO, you are right, looked so in control of that game. When they finished it off, I think altering members had maybe more than half of their